Shalom, shalom, Israel. Give honor to the Most High and say, Yahushua. We are the Battle Axes coming into a Monday night class, a Monday Dine-In where we don't dine with the swine. We give honor and glory to our Maker for giving us the allowance to be here tonight. We ask that brothers and sisters follow along within their Bibles if you're reading and looking and tuning in. Let's try to get some edification tonight. Let's try to feed our spirit and keep this thing going, so we can try to change his way, you know what I'm saying? So get back into the glory and the grace, the true grace of our Savior. Tonight's class is Israel can't comprehend the works of the Most High. Israel can't comprehend the works of the Most High. And, this class is on me because I know a lot of people love to say, and they always talk about, well, I can't believe in a God that does this, that puts people through slavery, or a God that say he hates some people and loves some people. Well, you can't comprehend the works of the Most High God. And it was given to us to have what confusion of faces as well. So we're going to get a reason why we can't comprehend and why we are in the situation where we're at. You know what I'm saying? It's basically because of what Israel's disobedience. See, we like to blame the Most High God for what he's doing. We ain't blaming the Most High God for what he's doing, why he's doing it. See, we blame the Most High God for what he's doing, but we ain't blaming ourselves for what we did. Because he let us know in Deuteronomy what he was going to do if we hearkened or if we didn't hearken. But now that he's coming true on his word, now a lot of people got a problem. That's not a God that I can deal with. I don't want to deal with that kind of guy. Well, hey, it might not be for you. First precept, let's go. We got it last week. Let's go to Proverbs 25:2. So a lot of people don't understand. A lot of times this thing be sealed. It's not for everybody to get, man. The Most High only dealt with a remnant. He's always dealt with only a remnant, man, to wake us up out of this situation, man. Yeah.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 25, verse 2.
Bring it out.
It is the glory of God to conceal thy things.
So a lot of times things are concealed because of God's glory, man. It's either he wants this to go this way or he wants that to go that way or he wants somebody to wake up this person or whatever the case may be, but it's his glory to conceal these things. That's why a lot of times people don't get to understand. That's why a lot of times people can't comprehend the work of the Most High God. Read up.
But the honor of kings is to search out a matter.
But it is our honor to search the scriptures and give true understanding. That's our honor. We used to think the honor was, oh yeah, man, look at me, I did this, I did that, I did. This is our true honor, man. Our honor is to go through these scriptures, dissect these scriptures, and really give true meaning and understanding of what exactly is going on in this Bible. That's our honor. Read that one more time.
Verse 2 from the top. It is the glory of God to conceal thy thing. But the honor of kings is to search out a matter.
But that's our honor. So a lot of times things are concealed, like I said, because of the Most High. Because he concealed a lot of things from us. But at the same time, he always had a remnant that was going to what? Be able to unlock these mysteries. Or go deeper into the scriptures and unlock parables and mysteries, Let's go and get to it, man. Let's go. Well, matter of fact, let's go to Ecclesiastes 7:29 first.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 29. Lo, this only have I found, that God had made men upright.
God made every man to be upright. Ain't no, God made me a homosexual. Ain't no God made me this. He made me against the word. He made me know he did. He made every man to be upright. To walk in his ways. He made everybody in the image, the split image of him, man. But what?
But they have sought out many inventions.
But we've sought out many inventions, man. That's what we've done. We've sought out many inventions, and that's the reason why we're in our situation right now. He made every man upright, but we've been looking for everything else. We've been looking at the ways of the world, the so-called heathen. We want to be like the heathen. We don't want to be like ourselves. We want to be like the heathen, man. We want to do what they do. Most importantly, most of all, who we want to be like? The Grecians. That's who we want to be like the most. We want to be like the Grecians. You know what I'm saying? Read that one more time.
Verse 29 from the top. Lo, this only have I found, that God had made man upright. But they have sought out many inventions.
Well, we sought out many inventions. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 9 and 20. So a lot of times we can't comprehend things because we so caught up in what? The inventions of the world. We so caught up in what Big Mama and Papa told us that we should be doing, and we never get into the truth of the Bible. Read it.
It's the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 9, verse 20. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it.
It said, I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were coming to it. What are the devices that come into this world? The wicked nations, man. The other heathen nations. Telling us what? Oh, you know, you can be whatever color. God's all colors. We're going to put black against Hispanic. We're going to put black against black. So-called Israelites, we're going to put them against each other. We're going to put the light-skinned and the dark-skinned Negro against each other. We're going to put the tall and the short Negro against each other. We're going to put on TV a so-called white man, a so-called black woman every time on our TV show. These are the devices that are coming to the world. These things weren't here at first. God made man to be immortal. But these are the devices that came into the world, which you was reading. Go ahead and bring it out, too.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 23.
Bring it out.
For God created man to be immortal.
Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 23. For God made man to be what?
For God created man to be immortal.
He made us and created us to be immortal, man. But like I said, like we're going to the scriptures throughout the devices of the world, you know what I'm saying? Because of the wickedness of this kingdom, of Esau's kingdom, hey, we've changed our ways. We wanted to do what the other nations want us to do, man. Read that one more time.
Verse 23 from the top. For God created man to be immortal, and made him to be an image of his own eternity.
Of his own eternity. He made him to be in the image of his own eternity, man. Read up.
Nevertheless, through envy of the devil.
Through what?
Through envy of the devil.
Through envy of the devil. Who is the devil? So-called white. Through envy of the devil. Want to be like the so-called white man. They were the first homosexuals, whatever you want to call them. LQ2B, whatever they were the first one. They've been doing that kind of mess, man. They always do that kind of mess. Now you got our people talking about, yes, it's me and my dog sleeping in bed. Man, we ain't never did that kind of stuff. Yeah, right. Dog sleeping in our bed. Get out of here. What's next? Wake up and what? Throw your arm around the dog? Get cuddled and snuggled up with your dog? That's the other nation through envy of the devil. What?
Came death into the world.
But through the envy of the nations, through the heathen, man, came death into this world, man. You know it came. Matter of fact, let's go to 1 Maccabees 1:11. Read it.
And they that do hold of his side do find it.
They do a whole show, do find it. Go to 1 Maccabees 1:11. Because we always had a people of our own. You know, the heathen is the biggest problem. People love to say, y'all always worry about the so-called white men because they the ones that put the biggest number on our people. It started with them. The wickedness started there. Now we just done trigger down and let our people just going into the same thing. You know, we don't give a damn. But read this.
This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel
what?
Wicked men.
Wicked men. And this is around the time of Alexander, man. You know what I'm saying? The freak, man. Read up.
Who persuaded many.
Who did what?
Who persuaded many.
Who persuaded many. Saying what?
Saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Now that's what we did. Through the inventions of the world, through the what? The envy of the devil, we made a covenant with the heathen, man. We want to be like y'all. We want to take Master with us. What about Master? Now we ain't worried about Jet Li. We ain't worried about Kim Sun-Koo. We worried about Master. What about David? What about Billy? What about him? We done made a covenant with the heathen. Read on.
That are round about us. For since we departed, From them we have had much sorrow.
And that's what our people say, man. They love to go and follow Esau, man. When they say we done, when Esau gone, oh man, ain't no more fun in the world. We are the true fun of the Bible. We the fun. We the salt of the earth, man. So like, but through inventions of the world, through what envy of the devil, through what covenants with the heathen, we found ourselves to not being able to comprehend the work of the Most High God. Give me one more. Let's go. We always pull this out. 2 Maccabees 4:15.
Book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 15.
Bring it out.
Not saddened by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians.
Not saddened to the honors of our fathers. We don't want to praise Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Noah, Jeremiah, Isaiah. We don't want to Christ. We don't want to praise our forefathers. We want to what? Have glory of the Grecians. We don't.
Best of all.
Best of all. Glory of the so-called white man. Best of all. Read.
By reason whereof sore calamity came upon them.
And this is why sore calamities came upon us. When people say, I don't know why y'all children loving a God or following a God that's like that, we did it to ourselves, man. We're paying for what our forefathers did. We're paying for what we did. That's why sore calamities came upon us. We know.
For they had them to be their enemies and avengers.
We had the so-called white man to be our enemies and our saviors. That's a big problem. We look at the so-called white man to get us out of the situation, but also knowing that they put us in the situation. So-called white man can't get you out of this situation. So-called white man didn't put you in this situation either. The Most High God put you in this situation. And who gonna get you out of this situation? The Most High God, man. Read on.
Whose custom they follow so earnestly.
Read that again.
Whose custom they follow so earnestly.
Whose custom they follow so earnestly, man. We love the ways of the world. We love the ways of the heathen. Read on.
And unto whom they desire to be like in all things.
Read that again.
And unto whom they desire to be like in all things.
Because we love to be like the heathen, but we the greatest people on the planet. We love to belittle our own selves, man. We want to put gold and blonde hair, and I hear you belittling yourself. You make yourself look like the dogs that they are. Nothing. We don't need all that. We need our regular color hair. These are the reasons why we can't comprehend the works of the Most High God, man. Let's go to second edition. 3 and 23. We'll read down second edition, man. We're going to go into 4 too.
It's the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 3, verse 23. So the times passed away, and the years were brought to an end.
Read out.
Then didst thou raise thee up a servant called David.
So it's going into what the time what David, you know what I'm saying? He said he raised up a prophet, a servant, King David. Read out.
Whom thou commandest to build a city unto thy name.
Which we know he wasn't able to build it because he had so much blood on his hand, but guess what he did? He went through the lineage of his son to build, to rebuild the kingdom, man. But David was a true warrior, man. Read on.
And to offer incense and oblations unto thee therein.
And to offer incense and oblations unto thee therein. Read on.
When this was done many years, then they that inhabit the city forsook thee.
It said when this happened, they that inhabited the city, the Israelites, what do? We forsook this thing, man. We always went against what we were supposed to do. Raised up King David, man. King David put the world in submission, man. Solomon reigned for 40 years, man. And then we go right back into messing up again. We forsook thee. Read on.
And in all things did even as Adam and all his generations had done.
Same way. Because we already know Adam was supposed to what? He was the first man on earth. Supposed to what? Clean it, keep it, name the animal. But then here come what? The envy of the devil, man. Like they like to call it the snake and the apple. The ways of the world, though. Taking on the customs of the world. Through the envy of the devil. Read on.
For they also had a wicked heart.
For they also had a wicked heart. So we're looking back in our forefathers' time in Adam, wicked hearts. Also going into King David, wicked hearts, man. Read on.
And so thou gavest thy city over into the hands of thine enemies.
And he gave our city over to the hands of the enemies. Man. Now, is the enemy supposed to be able to run this thing, man? Who's supposed to run this world? We're supposed to be running the world. But let's go to Psalms 2:8 right quick. But the enemy's running the thing now. Why is that? Because we gave it to them. Because we let them run our world. We got to take our world back. We got to take our kingdom back. That's what we are doing right now. Read this.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance.
So the heathen was supposed to be for us. They were supposed to be our inheritance. They supposed to do what the hell we tell them to do. They supposed to be running this, working in this kingdom, man. While we live in lavish. Read up.
And the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession.
So the earth is supposed to be ours. It's supposed to be our possession. And we already know the earth was made for who? For Israelites, man. It was made for us. But through the inventions and the wicked ways of the world that we so earnestly wanted to follow after, go back to 2 Edges 3 and 28 and 27, and he gave us the city over into the hands of the enemies. That's why he did that. Because we wanted to follow earnestly the ways of the other nations. So for that reason, he gave us our city, which is Israel, which is by name, a people, into the hands of the enemies. That's why so-called other nations are ruling over us. That's why we're on the bottom of the totem pole. That's why we working in this kingdom when we ought to be kicked back, feet up, telling people what to do. Read on.
This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 3, verse 28. Are there deeds then any better that inhabit Babylon?
Read that again.
Are there deeds then any better that inhabit Babylon?
It said, are the deeds of the heathen better than Babylon? I mean, are there deeds than any better than inhabited Babylon? Are their deeds better? What they been keeping the laws? What were they trying to what? Keep the word of the Lord? Or did they have a remnant? No. Read on.
That they should therefore have the dominion over Zion.
So what? He's asking the question: are their deeds better than ours? You know, we look back and look at our forefathers. Are their deeds better than Abraham, Isaac, Jacob? That they should what? Rule over Zion, have dominion over Zion? Read on.
For when I came thither, and had seen impieties without number, then my soul saw many evildoers in this 13th year.
Read on.
So that my heart failed me. For I have seen how thou sufferest them sinning.
Read that again.
For I have seen how thou sufferest them sinning.
And to say, I've seen how you have suffered them sinning and have spared the wicked doers. It's just like we're supposed to be the chosen people, right? It's just like, well, why are you sparing these evildoers and these wicked people? He said, for I have seen how thou suffered them sinning. You suffered them sinning. And then spared wicked doers. The heathen, you spared their lives. They still out here putting wicked in the world. Why is that? Read on.
It has spared wicked doers. And has destroyed thy people.
Read on.
And has preserved thine enemies. And has not signified it.
They have preserved thine enemies and have not signified it. Why is that? Let's go to Ecclesiastes 7. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, we're going to start at verse 15.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 15. All things have I seen in the days of my vanity.
Read on.
There is a just man that perished in his righteousness.
So it's a just man that perished in his righteousness. See, this is the thing that we can't comprehend. Why is it a good person, or we like to call good people, that die right early, right? Why should they die before their time? They were good. They were just men. Read on.
And there is a wicked man that prolonged his life and his wickedness.
And there's a wicked man that prolonged his life. See, we can't comprehend these things. This is Solomon letting them know, I've seen just men that have had their lives took. But I see wicked evildoers that you prolong their lives. Why is that? Read.
Be not righteous over much. Neither make thyself over wise.
Be not righteous over much. Neither make thyself over wise. Because you can't understand and comprehend what the Most High God do and how he do his will. You don't understand why he got some of these evildoers still out here living to this day. Like I always say, you got Negroes 50 and 60 years old out here still selling dope. Still out here running women doing the same thing. And you got people you got Israelites that lost their lives for the truth already. Man. You know what I'm saying? But you can't comprehend this thing. Read on. Be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. You can't comprehend it. Some of the things like the Most High said in Proverbs 25:2. Some of these things are what hidden for his glory. Read.
Why shouldest thou destroy thyself?
Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Don't try to go and think too much. You hurt yourself. Israel love to try to overthink something. Don't overthink it. Just keep his commandments. Read on.
Be not over much wicked. Neither be thou foolish.
Don't be foolish. Why what?
Why shouldest thou die before thy time?
Why should you die before your time, man? Why should you die before your time? And it's just saying that you spared the wicked doers, man. But it's his will. It's the Most High God's will why these things happen, man. But we can't comprehend it. Why? Let's go to John. Go to John chapter 3, man. Some of these things you're not going to be able to comprehend, man. Start at verse 11.
It's the book of John, chapter 3, verse 11. Verily, verily, I say unto thee, we speak that we do know.
Yeah, we speak that we do know, man. This is Christ, man. No, I'm speaking my Father's words. What I do know, read.
And testify that we have seen, and he received not our witness.
So the Most High said, Christ is saying, we testify what we've seen, but y'all don't believe the report. Read on.
If I have told you earthly things, and ye believe not.
He said, if I told you earthly things, and you can't believe that or understand that, read on.
How shall ye believe if I tell you of heavenly things?
How can you believe in things if I tell you about heavenly things? Basically, giving an understanding that what? I'm the high priest. I'm the king. My Father chose me to be the king. You know what I'm saying? He got to let Nicodemus know. Nicodemus, you're supposed to be a ruler of the Jews. Remember, we just went over this. But you don't understand this. But I thought you was a ruler. That just lets you know that my ways are higher than your ways. And my thoughts higher than your thoughts. Isaiah 55:8. We can go on and get that right quick. A lot of things are not meant for us to understand. Because we said, Christ said, we prophesy in part. 1 Corinthians 13:9. We know in part. But when that which is perfect comes, he gonna let us know everything that we were doing wrong. Everything that we were doing right. Read that.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts.
For my thoughts are not your thoughts, man. This is the Most High telling, man. You can't comprehend and think like the Most High read.
Neither are your ways my ways, said the Lord.
Neither are your ways my ways. Read on.
For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways.
We already know the heavens are still above, higher than the earth. He said, until I come back down and visit y'all again, my ways are always going to be higher than your ways. See, that's how you know the Most High will give us these new bodies and we're going to become perfect. Because he said that the heavens are higher than the earth. But when he come back, he going to give us the full understanding of everything, man. Read that one more time.
Verse 9 from the top. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, So are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts.
So this is why a lot of people can't comprehend it. Because the Most High only left a remnant of people to get the true understanding. Everybody not out here breaking down these scriptures like this. Everybody not out here breaking down parables and things of this nature. Everybody can't do it. They only left a remnant. Let's go to Romans 9. It's like Ezra 9 today. Ezra chapter 9, verse 8. Get there, you can read.
It's the book of Ezra, chapter 9, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
And now for a little space, grace had been shewed from the Lord our God.
Said for a little grace, for a little space, grace has been shown from the Lord our God, man. Just a little space of grace, man. Read on.
To leave us a remnant to escape.
To leave us a what?
To leave us a remnant to escape.
To leave us a remnant to escape. He always is going to leave a remnant of his children that was going to get the understanding and be able to what? Help us escape out of what? Read.
To give us a nail in his holy place.
Uh-huh.
That our God may lighten our eyes.
That he may do what?
That God may lighten our eyes.
So this is only a remnant of people that the Most High was going to deal with and giving us what? To be a light to our eyes and to what?
And give us a little revival in our bondage.
And give us a little hope in our bondage. In our captivity. You see, a lot of people look at our captivity for the worst. But the Most High said, you need to look at this captivity for the better. He said, I ain't do this to you for matter of fact. Let's go get that right quick, man. Let's go to Maccabees, man. We always pull this too. 2 Maccabees 6 and 12.
It's the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 12.
Uh-huh.
Now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities.
So he don't want us to be discouraged for our captivity. Read on.
But that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction.
Not to be for our destruction. He didn't put us in captivity for us to be destroyed, but to what?
But for a chastity of our nation.
But for us to get our butt whooped and get understanding. Because when you get chastised, you get a little understanding right. Little butt whooping to have you understanding. Look, I can't keep doing this. Little chastisement here and there. Sooner or later, you're going to get the picture. I can't keep playing these games. So our captivity was not for us to what? Be discouraged and then to be destroyed. But for the chastity of our nation, to get more understanding, man. That's why he always left a remnant of this thing and people can't understand this. That's why Israel can't comprehend the works of the Most High God. Because he only left a remnant to do this thing. It should be 1,000 people in these camps, man. It should be brothers and sisters lining up to get in these camps, man, to get the truth of the Bible. But he only left a remnant, man. And that's another cut too. Go to Romans 9 and 27.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 27. Esaias also cried concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea.
He said, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered or measured, right? What?
A remnant shall be saved.
Everybody, all Israel gonna be saved.
A remnant shall be saved.
And this is another country that was this is like Israel gonna be saved. He let them know a remnant. What is a remnant? A portion. A remnant is not everybody. It's a certain amount of a certain number. Only a remnant, a portion shall be saved, man. That lines up with Zechariah, man. All day long, 14 and 12, man. 11 and 12. Only a remnant shall be saved, man. Only a remnant shall get this understanding. And what? Give us hope to get up out of the situation that we in. Go back to that Ezra. I want to read that Ezra one more time. What you got? Oh, yeah, Shalaki, 13 and 8. I said 14. 13 and 8. That's the Zechariah 13 and 8. She like our praise God. Go back to that Ezra, man. 9 and 8. Because that's really heavy, man.
This is the book of Ezra, chapter 9, verse 8.
Read.
And now for a little space,
Uh-huh.
grace hath been showed from the Lord our God to leave us a remnant to escape and to give us a nail in his holy place, that our God may lighten our eyes and give us a little revival.
And give us a little revival or a little hope in what?
In our bondage.
In our bondage and our captivity. That's what we're getting right now. We got that remnant that gave us what? A little hope to tell you what? You're Israelites. You need to come back to the fold of things. Only a remnant though, man. Let's go back to the second entrance, man. Let's start at verse 31, 3 and 31.
This book of Second Ezra, chapter 3, verse 31.
Read.
I do not remember how this way may be left. Are they then of Babylon better than they of Zion?
Are they then of Babylon better than them of Zion? Are they? Huh? Or any other are the heathen better than the Israelites? Let's go to Romans 3. They just had to ask the question because he's saying what? The heathen nations, what? They get spared. They get their life spared. In verse 30, it say what? He spared the wicked doers. We don't comprehend. They're just trying to get the understanding of this thing. Romans 3 and 1.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 1. What advantage then had the Jew?
What advantage then had the Jew? Read.
Or what profit is there of circumcision?
Or what profit is there of circumcision, man? What advantage do the Israelites have? Read.
Much every way.
It said much every way. Every way. Not some ways, but much every way. We have advantage in every way. Read.
Chiefly, because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
And it says mainly because we were given the laws, statutes, and commandments from the Most High God, which made us a great nation. So what advantage had the Jew or the Israelites? Every way. So when you go back to second Ezra and he says, are they then of Babylon better than they of Zion? They just had to ask the question. Because he's not comprehending why these other nations are still out here putting out this wicked, philosophies, these wicked doctrines. Why they out here messing up our kingdom, our world. So the answer to that question is no. Well, we got to be able to comprehend that. Read on.
For what if some did not believe?
No, let's go back to
verse 30.
Yeah, let's go back to second Ezra. As a matter of fact, read that. I'm sorry, man.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 3.
Yeah.
For what if some did not believe?
Because people don't believe. They don't believe right now. The brothers and sisters of Israel that can't comprehend this thing, they don't believe. They can't comprehend it. Read on.
Shall the unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
So, because they don't believe, should it make the faith of God ill and void? Read on.
God forbid.
God forbid. Read.
Yea, let God be true.
Let God be true and what?
But every man a liar.
And this is what we're doing. And when we do these classes, man, we try to get the truth and understanding. The remnant that the Most High has always kept to keep us and give us hope in our bondage is going to let God be true and every man a liar. Let's go back to second Ezra. You read 31 again.
This is the book of second Ezra, chapter 3, verse 31. I do not remember how this way may be left. Are they then of Babylon better than they of Zion?
Are they then of Babylon better than they of Zion? No, they're not, because we just read in Romans 3 that the Jews have every advantage in every way. Read on.
Or is there any other people that knoweth thee beside Israel? Or what generation has so believed thy covenants as Jacob?
So what nation has believed thy covenants as Jacob, man? Oh, then the new covenant. What nation has done that, man? Read on.
And yet their reward appeared not. And their labor had no fruit.
Their labor had no fruit, man. Read.
For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth.
So the heathen are what? Lavishing. They're living lavish in this kingdom, right? He said they're flowing in wealth. They're living lavish in this kingdom, read up.
And think not upon thy commandments.
But they not keeping no commandments. People can't understand that. They can't comprehend that. Why is the heathen right now living lavish and we are here living at the bottom of the society of the world? Why is that? Read on.
Weigh thou, therefore, our wickedness, now in the balance. And there is also that dwell in the world.
Read on.
And so shall thy name nowhere be found, but in Israel.
He said, shall not our name nowhere be found in Israel. Go to Ezekiel 39 and 23. Let me get that right quick. Yeah.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 39, verse 23. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity.
So the heathen will keep pushing this wicked truth and everything out here because they know that we're going into captivity every time we go against our Lord, man. Read on.
Because they trespassed against me. Therefore, hid I my face from them.
And the Most High said, for that reason, he hid his face. Read.
And gave them into the hand of their enemies.
And did what?
And gave them into the hand of their enemies.
That's why we can't comprehend. Because of our wickedness, he gave us into the hands of our enemies, man. This is why. When Andrews is asking, why is the wicked flourishing in wealth and everything? Because we were given to the hands of our enemies, so what?
So fell they all by the sword.
Because he uses the other nations to be our sword. That's our chastisement. The other nations. Thou hast said that they are nothing, right? 2 Ezra 6 and 54. Thou hast said that the other nations are nothing but be like unto spittle. So when you go to Esdras and he's asking these questions, well, how is the wicked in the other nations flourishing and living lavish in his kingdom? It's because they are our sword. Our Lord is a what God? What kind of God is our God? A jealous God. So what is he gonna do? He gonna provoke us with jealousy with the other nations. We can't comprehend that, right? People, why? If the black people, the so-called Jews, then why are we on the bottom? Because of our iniquity, because of our sin, because of our wrongdoing. That's why. Read 30-23 again, Ezekiel 39 and 23.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 39, verse 23. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity.
We went into captivity for our iniquity, man. Read on.
Because they trespassed against me. Therefore, hid I my face from them.
And that's why the Most High say he hid his face. Read on.
And gave them into the hand of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword.
So fell they all by the sword. He uses the other nations to put our butts in place, man. The other nations are the sword of Israel, man. That's why. They just didn't have understanding, but he asking questions right. He trying to comprehend this thing. That's what we got to do. We got to bring the comprehension of this thing, man. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13. Matter of fact, like a fan, we're going to wait on that. Let's go to Jeremiah 9 and 16. Forgive me. My bad. Let's go to Jeremiah 9 and 16. That's more on that.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 9, verse 16. I will scatter them also among the heathen.
Let us know he's going to scatter Israel among the heathen. Where we are, where we not scattered. He scattered us around the four corners of the earth, right? Read on. Around the heathen. Read on.
Whom neither they nor their fathers have known.
And we didn't know these other nations. All we knew was Israel. Read on.
And I will send a sword after them.
And he will send a what?
And I will send a sword after them.
He will send a sword after them. That's the heathen. Because they are that sword. Read on.
Till I have consumed them.
Till you have what?
Till I have consumed them.
And that's why we're being consumed each and every day in this kingdom, man. Because we broke the covenant that we gave to our fathers. Back in John, when Joshua came to the church of Israel, people said, yeah, we will do it. Yes, we are witnesses this day. We're going to keep the commandments. We're going to do it. And then we don't. Well, we see what's happening. He's letting the Israelites, he's letting the other heathen nations be our sword. Leviticus 26 and 33.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 33.
Bring it out.
And I will scatter you among the heathen, and will draw out a sword after you.
Saying the same exact thing. I'm going to scatter you among the heathen and draw out a sword after you. Then you know that the heathen are in control of what? Our wrongdoing, man. That's why the Most High let them live lavish. Like we said, the Most High is a God of jealousy. He's going to provoke us with jealousy with the other nations, man. Read on.
And your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste.
And your land desolate, and your cities waste. That's why when you go back to 2 Corinthians 3 and 27, and so thou gavest the city over into the hands of the enemies. Yeah. Because of that reason. That's exactly right. And he's trying to get the understanding of this thing. Why is it? Why is the heathen flourishing, man? Why is it? Let's go back to second edge. Read 33 again.
It's the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 3, verse 33.
Read.
And yet their reward appeared not, and their labor had no fruit.
Their labor had no fruit. The heathen nations ain't bringing no fruit to this thing. They ain't bringing no good fruit. They bringing all wickedness, man. So it's like they ain't got no fruit in this labor that they doing, Lord. Read.
For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth, and think not upon thy commandments.
We can't comprehend that thing. He said, I went here and there among the heathen, and they are living lavish. They are flowing in wealth, and think not upon the commandments. But they don't keep no commandments. The heathen ain't keeping no commandments. They're not wearing beards for a commandment. And they doing no shave Novembers. You see who beard can grow long that month. And the heathen ain't out here loving the Lord. And they all the other heathen out here doing Christmas. Got Chinese doing Christmas, Moab doing Christmas, Arabs doing Christmas. They're not keeping no commandments. Why is it they live in lavish and live flourishing in this kingdom? Because they are our sword. But the Most High trying to tell you, you don't comprehend this thing, but he gonna give edge to understand it. And we're gonna keep reading down and see. Read.
Weigh thou, therefore, our wickedness now in the balance.
He said, weigh thou our wickedness in a balance. Because Proverbs 11, you gotta have a just weight and balance in this thing, man. Read on.
And there is also that dwelled in the world. And so shall thy name nowhere be found, but in Israel.
He said, so shall thy name only be found in Israel, man. Read on.
Or when was it that they shall which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight?
Read on.
Or what people have so kept thy commandments?
What people have kept thy commandments? Read on.
Thou shalt find that Israel by name had kept thy precepts.
Israel by name has kept thy precepts. Read on.
But not the heathen.
But not the heathen. That's another cut scripture for if they ever want to ask was Job an Israelite. When they try to say Job was a heathen or Edomite. Only people that's keeping the law like was the children of Israel. He said, thou shalt find that Israel by name has kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. And Job 1:1, they know that Job was what? A just man, perfect. Keeping the commandments, man. So that's a cut right in itself. So Ed is just getting the understanding of why these things are happening so. But we can't comprehend this thing because only a remnant will be given this opportunity to understand this thing. Jump down to chapter 4. Matter of fact, before we read 4, go to Wisdom of Solomon. Now let's go to Wisdom of Solomon 13 and 1.
It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 1.
Surely
vain are all men by nature.
Surely vain are all men by nature. Surely vain are all men. That's why we can't comprehend. Read up.
Who are ignorant of God.
Who are what?
Who are ignorant of God.
Who are ignorant of God. Because before we got the truth, weren't we ignorant of God? No, I was. Very ignorant of God. Didn't know what he liked, didn't know what he didn't like, didn't know none of that. Read on.
It could not, out of the good things that are seen, know him that is. Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster.
It said, neither by considering the works did they acknowledge thy workmaster. We didn't even consider the works, man, that we're supposed to put in for our Lord, man. That's Isaiah 1 and 3 all day. We don't consider. Read on.
But deem either fire or wind or the swift air or the circle of the stars.
Or what?
Or the violent water.
What else?
Or the light of heaven.
To be what?
To be the gods which govern the world.
Read that again, man. That's tough. But what did we deem?
To be the gods which govern the world. It said
we deem either fire or what else?
Or wind.
Or wind. So what else?
Or the swift air.
Or the air or what?
Or the circle of stars.
All the stars, you know, everybody want to go into this zodiac, yeah. Tauruses and Pisces, they run all that mess. Read what else?
Or the violent water. Or the lights of heaven.
To be what?
To be the gods which govern the world.
Well, we deemed these things to be the gods of this world. We weren't trying to consider to do the works or acknowledge the workmaster. But we sure was deeming all these stars and everything else to be the gods of this world. That's why we can't comprehend. That's why we don't understand what's going on. We never wanted to give our God the time. But we gave all these other gods. No, my lowercase, it's lowercase g, right? Okay. We gave all these other gods the opportunity to be our gods. Then they can't comprehend why we're in captivities or why we went into 7 major and 7 minor. Why we've only had 40 years of reigning over this world. 40 years? 40 years? We've been in captivity how many? Think from 15 BC all the way to now. We've been in captivity. Except for 40 of those years. But we can't comprehend this thing, man. Read on.
With whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods.
They took these things to be gods. That was beauty in their sight. The heathen, what the heathen was doing, that was beauty in our sights. Read.
Let them know how much better the Lord of them is.
But we got to let the brothers and sisters know how much better the Lord is to them, man. Not these heathens, but our God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Israel, man. And that's what we're doing. Read.
For the first author of beauty had created them.
Read verse 4.
Verse 4. But if they were astonished at their power and virtue, let them understand by them.
By them what?
How much mightier he is that made them.
How much mightier he is that made them. The stars, the winds, the seas, the lights of heaven, the violent waters. We gotta let brothers and sisters know how much better the Lord is to them, man. The one who made and created these other things that we want to go by. As being our God. You understand that? Let's go back to 2 Ezra, chapter 4.
This book of 2 Ezra, chapter 4, verse 1. And the angel that was sent unto me, whose name was Uriel, gave me an answer and said, thy heart had gone too far in this world.
This is another reason why we can't comprehend. He said, thy heart has gone too far in this world with these wicked inventions, with the heathen, want to be like the heathen, want to take on their customs. Our hearts have went too far in this world to what?
And thinkest thou to comprehend the way of the Most High?
For us to even continue to try to think of the Most High God. Thy heart has gone too far in this world and thinkest thou to comprehend the way of the Most High? You think you can comprehend the ways of the Most High God as far as we don't went into this kingdom? As wickedly as we have done in our lifetime? What, you think 4 years of the truth got you thinking that you could be like the Most High or something? You can comprehend? We went too far into this thing, man. Drop down to verse 8.
Verse 8.
Peradventure.
Thou wouldest say unto me, I never went down into the deep, nor as yet into hell. Neither did I ever climb up into heaven.
Because Uriel came and brought Idris some more understanding. He was like, okay, well, can you weigh me the weight of fire? He said, can you measure the blast of the wind? And Idris was like, no, what man can do this? So he dropped down and said, well, let's just say you gonna probably say this. Uriel telling Idris, you probably gonna tell me this. You probably gonna tell me that I never went into the deep or into hell, or neither did I ever climb into the heaven. Read verse 9.
Verse 9. Nevertheless, now have I asked thee, but only of the fire and wind.
He said, but all I asked you was the weight of fire and the blast of the wind. Read on.
And of the day wherethrough thou hast passed, and of things from which thou canst not be separated.
Read on.
And yet canst thou give me no answer of them.
He said, but I only ask you these three things. Now you let me know that I ain't went into the pits of hell. I've never went into the depths of the deeper depths of the seas. But Uriel, all I asked you was for the weight of fire, the blast of the wind. Remembering things, you know what I'm saying, from back in the day. Read on.
Verse 10. He said, moreover, unto me, thine own things.
Thine what?
Thine own things.
Thine own things, read on.
And such as are grown up with thee, canst thou not know?
He said, you can't even understand the things that you done grew up with. The world. You can't understand the world. And we went back into John, chapter 3. He said, if I tell you earthly things and you can't understand them, how can I tell you heavenly things and you understand that? Read on.
How should thy vessel then be able to comprehend the way of the highest?
He said, how should the vessel, because we tell people we ain't number of vessels used by the Most High, man. How then can the vessel do what?
Then be able to comprehend the way of the highest.
Be able to comprehend the way of the highest, man. It's like we can't comprehend the works of the Most High God. It's just better to be what? Obedient. Read on.
And the world, being now outwardly corrupted,
to
understand the corruption that is evident in my sight.
To understand the corruption that is evident in my sight. Let's go to Rock 35 real quick. I just thought of this precept. I was talking to Jerubbaal today. Start verse 1, man.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 35, verse 1. He that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enough.
He that keepeth the law, that's the offering that you bring. When you keep the law, that's the offering you bring. That's why we don't do sacrifices and offerings anymore, man. The Most High said, just keeping the law is the offering. Read on.
He that taketh heed to the commandment offered a peace offering. He that requited a good turn offered the fine flour. And he that giveth alms sacrificeth praise.
So these are the sacrifices that we should be giving now. We don't have to sacrifice anymore, man. Because when you're keeping the law, that's enough. That's the sacrifice enough right there. When you're giving alms, that's the sacrifice of praise, man. You understand what I'm saying? So when we go back to 2nd Esdras, and he said you can't comprehend the things of the world, hey, it's better to what? Be obedient than sacrifice, right? Let's go there, Rick. Let's go to 1 Samuel 15. Meaning that we just got to be obedient, Israel. We got to read the book, get into the book, and just be obedient, man. You're not going to comprehend the ways of the world of the Most High all the time, man. But it is our honor to what? Break down and unlock some of these mysteries, man. Read that. 22.
This book of 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 22.
Uh-huh.
And Samuel said, had the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings?
Has the Lord great delight in burnt offerings? Read.
And sacrifices?
And sacrifices. Read.
As in obeying the voice of the Lord?
As more than obeying? Read on.
Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice.
Read that again.
Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice.
To obey is better than sacrifice, man. So we're not going to be able to comprehend some things, but it'll be better for you to obey. You know what I'm saying? Than to try to just worry about everything else, man. In this situation, obedience is better than sacrifice, man. And what I'm really taking out the scriptures, just be obedient, Israel, to the laws, statutes, and commandments, man. That's all we have to do is be obedient, man. Let's go to into the last bit. Let's go into Daniel chapter 9. We know Capt Benaniyah brought a heavy class out. At the end of Daniel, I want to touch on the beginning of Daniel, though. Just a few precepts out of Daniel. Some more reasons why we can't comprehend this thing, man. Yeah, we'll start at verse 1.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 1. And the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus,
Ahasuerus, Xerxes,
of the seed of the Medes, which was made king over the realms of the Chaldeans.
Read on.
And the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books the number of the years.
Because Gabriel came to Daniel and was going to give him an understanding of this thing. Read.
Whereof the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah, the prophet.
Read on.
That he would accomplish 70 years in the desolation of Jerusalem.
So, we just went into that 70 years Sabbath. Our praises. Read on.
And I set my face unto the Lord God to seek by prayer and supplications with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. And I prayed unto the Lord my God and made my confession.
So we got to start confessing, Israel. When we pray, we got to confess our sins, man. Read on.
And said, O Lord, the great and dreadful God.
The who?
The great and dreadful God.
The great and dreadful God. Read on.
Keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him.
Read that again.
Keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him.
Keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him. Is the covenant for everybody? Mm-hmm. Romans 9:4, they should know who the covenants are for. Keeping covenant with them that what?
That love
him. That love him, man. How do you love the Most High God? And it's going to tell you. Then read on.
And to them that keep his commandments.
So the Most High is not, like we said, everybody want to say, oh, yeah, God loves me. I'm his son. Well, hey, look. He said he keep covenant with them that love him and keep his commandments. Is everybody keeping the commandments of the Most High right now? So you really can't say that he's keeping covenant with you, man. Go to Proverbs 8:17. Oh, the precept. We're going to go ahead. So you got to be loving the Most High God to get love back. That's anybody. If you with somebody and they keep showing you all the love in the world, but you don't give a darn about them or show them no love, is that thing going to work out? No. You can't keep talking about the Lord love me, he heard my cry, but you ain't doing nothing to show the Most High no love, man. That's why you can't comprehend things. Because you ain't showing the Most High God the love back that he's been showing you. However many years you've been in this world. Read.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 17.
Read.
I love them that love me.
What did he say?
I love them that love me.
He said, I love them that love me. Daniel 9:4 said, they keep covenant with mercy with them that love him, and they that keep his commandments. He said, I love them that love me, man. You got to show the Most High God some love, man, for him to love you back, man. Yeah, he's a merciful God, man, compassionate God. But I don't know who in their right mind go love somebody and somebody ain't loving them back. They might try for a while, right? Sooner or later, they're going to give up. I can't keep doing this. I keep trying to show her this, and she ain't showing me nothing in return. I keep trying to show him this, but he won't give me nothing in return. That's lights out. Most High said, I love them that love me, man. Go to Deuteronomy 7 and 9. The great and dreadful God, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him and to them that keep his commandments. It don't sound like everybody to me. It sound like a what? What word we be using tonight? Sound like a remnant. It sound like a remnant, man. A portion. Deuteronomy 7 and 9.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 9.
Bring it out.
Now therefore, that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God.
He is what?
He is God, the faithful God.
The faithful God. Read on.
Which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him.
Saying the same thing that Daniel said, right? So you got to stop trying to say that the Lord loved me. He heard my cry. And you ain't loving the Lord back, man. Precept upon precept. Keeping covenant with mercy with them that love him and what?
And keep his commandments.
To a what?
To 1,000 generations.
So he let you know, man. Back in our forefathers' time, those that was keeping the commandments, that was loving the Lord back, he was merciful God to them, right? Even up to today. And we try to love the Most High God and give back what he's owed and what we want his due, the Lord's due diligence. Then he gonna keep covenant and mercy with us. And what does the Lord do diligence? I know y'all got that precept. What's the Lord's due diligence? What's like the least we can do?
Keep his commandments.
Huh? Romans, what's the least that we can do? Nah, give our lives a living sacrifice. Romans 12 and 1. Oh, you precepts today. We'll go to Romans 12 and 1. This is how you show love to the Most High God, man.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 1.
I
beseech you, therefore, brother, by the mercies of God.
By the mercies of God, that what?
That he present your bodies a living sacrifice.
That we present our bodies a living sacrifice. What?
Holy.
Holy.
Acceptable unto God.
Acceptable to who?
Unto God.
Unto man.
Unto God.
Read.
Which is your reasonable service.
Which is your what?
Which is your reasonable service.
Which is your reasonable service. That's the least you can do. That's the least you can do, man. That's the due diligence that the Most High God deserves. He deserves your body as a living sacrifice. To go out there and let your light shine each and every day to the world, man, of evildoers. To go out there and wear your fringes, wear your beard, wear your dresses and your skirts, wear your head wraps. To love your brothers and your neighbor as yourself, man. That is the reasonable service that we can give to the Most High God. That's how we show him we love him, man. That's his due diligence. That's the least we can do for him, what? Giving his son. Major Daniel. Yeah.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 5. We have seen.
What have we done?
We have seen.
And what?
And have committed iniquity.
That's what we don't understand, Israel. We always talk about what kind of God is there, what kind of people are we? Shit. What kind of people are we? Some wicked evildoers. We have sinned, have done iniquity. Read on.
And have done wickedly.
And what?
And have rebelled.
And we done rebelled, man. We went against our God. Read.
Even by departing from thy precepts. And from thy judgment.
Even from departing from thy precepts, man. We got to get into this Bible because the words of God is the precepts. Go to Psalm 119, 104. Go ahead.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 104. Through thy precepts, I get understanding.
And this is why he said, because y'all have rebelled by departing from my precepts. So you get understanding when you keep the precepts, right? You'll be able to comprehend some of these things if you was keeping the precepts. You better comprehend some of these things if you was what? Psalms 111 and 10. Read this.
Therefore, I hate every false way.
Through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way. Psalm 111 and 10. This is the way you get some comprehending of the work of the Lord, man. By what? Keeping his precepts, by following his words, man. By being obedient, like we said.
This book of Psalms, chapter 111, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Read on.
A good understanding have all they that do his commandments.
That's why brothers and sisters can't comprehend, because they're not keeping the commandments, man. This Bible is simple, man, sometimes. For the most part, the Bible is simple. He told Ezekiel, he told Habakkuk, he told them to make it plain. We see plain as day that we got to keep law, statutes, and commandments. We got to make sure that we do our due diligence, man. But you get understanding and you'll comprehend a lot of works of the Most High God if you just follow the commandments, man. If you just follow the commandments of the Lord. Let's go back to Daniel.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 5 from the top. We have sinned and have committed iniquity.
Read.
And have done wickedly, and have rebelled, even by departing from thy precepts and from thy judgments.
Read.
Neither have we hearkened unto thy servants, the prophets.
Neither have we hearkened unto thy servants, the prophets, man. We ain't hearkened to our prophets. We ain't hearkened to Moses. We ain't hearkened to Jeremiah, Isaiah. Read on.
We spake in thy name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers.
Our princes and our fathers, and what?
And to all the people of the land.
Go to James 5 and 10. We ain't hearken to our forefathers, man. But we don't hearken to what? The ways of the world, the heathen. 5 and 10.
It's the book of James, chapter 5, verse 10. Take my brother.
My brethren. Who is my brethren or what?
The prophets.
The prophets, man. For what?
Who have spoken in the name of the Lord.
For an what?
For an example.
For an example of what?
Of suffering, affliction, and of patience.
When we go back to Daniel 9 and 6, he said, we haven't hearkened to the servants, the prophets, which spake into the name of our king. We got to go back and take our prophets, our brethren, for an example, man. We got to look at Job, right? To see how he went through his affliction, but stayed true. We got to look at Abraham and Isaac, man. We got to look how Abraham was going to give up his son, man. How dedicated he was to the Most High God. By what? Making his body a living sacrifice. We got to go back into the prophets, man. It's just like Christ is our example. The prophets were our example too, to follow Christ. Read that again.
Verse 10 from the top. Take my brother, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord.
Read.
For an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience.
An example of suffering, affliction, and patience, man. But it's saying, Daniel, we didn't do that. Go back to Daniel 9 to 6. Neither have we hearkened to the servants of prophets, which spake in the name of our kings. We haven't did that. And that's one reason why we're still having what? A hard time comprehending the ways of the Most High God. Read 7.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 7. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee.
Righteousness belongeth to who?
Belongeth unto thee. But unto us, confusion of faces.
Righteousness belongeth unto thee. But unto us, what?
Confusion of faces.
This is why we can't comprehend. Because of our iniquity, because of our wrongdoing, we've got confusion of faces. We are confused in this world. We're confused. We don't know that, oh, keeping Christmas is against God. We don't understand that keeping Thanksgiving is against the Most High God, against our people, our brothers, man. The natives, man. We don't understand these things. Read.
As at this day, to the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem,
read on,
and unto all Israel.
So he let you be known that the northern and the southern kingdom, he gave us as a whole. Read on. That
are near and that are far off, through all the countries, whither thou hast driven them.
Because what?
Because of their trespass, that they have trespassed against thee.
So this is why we can't comprehend. This is why we have confusion of faces. Because of our trespass, man. Go to Ezra 9:7.
It's the book of Ezra, chapter 9, verse 7. Since the days of our fathers have we been in a great trespass unto this day.
Unto this day, read.
And for our iniquities.
For our what?
And for our iniquities.
For our iniquities, read.
Have we, our kings and our priests, been delivered into the hand of the kings of the land.
For our iniquities, have we, our kings and our priests, been delivered into the hand of the kings of this land. That's easy. Because of our sin, we've been brought over to what? The heathen. Read on.
To the sword.
To the what?
To the sword.
And you already know that the sword is the heathen. To the sword, read on.
To captivity.
To what?
To captivity.
That's why we're in captivity, brothers and sisters. For those who can't comprehend why. Read on.
And to a spoil. And to confusion of face. As it is this day.
As it is this day. Confusion of faces, man. This is why we can't comprehend, because the Most High gave us confusion of faces because of what? Our disobedience. Go back to Daniel 9:8.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 8. O Lord, to us belongeth confusion of face, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee.
Because we have sinned against thee. Let's go to Jeremiah 14:20. This
is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 20. We acknowledge, O Lord, our wickedness.
Well, see, that's what we gotta do. We gotta acknowledge our wickedness. That's why people can't comprehend too, because they won't acknowledge their sins. Read.
And the iniquity of our fathers. For we have sinned against thee.
For we have sinned against thee. That's why we got confusion of faces, man. Let's go back to Daniel, man. This is why we have confusion of faces, that we can't comprehend a lot of things. Read 10. This
is the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 9. To the Lord our God belong mercies and forgivenesses, though we have rebelled against him.
Even though we don't rebel against our God, he still belongs mercies and forgiveness to him. He's a merciful God, right? He's a forgiving God, man. All you got to do is what? Be obedient. Read.
Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God to walk in his laws,
read on,
which he set before us by his servants, the prophets.
We have not followed in his laws that he set before us, man. Go to 2 Kings 18:12. (18 and 12). 2 Kings. When you get that read.
It's the book of 2 Kings, chapter 18, verse 12.
Bring it out.
Because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord their God, but transgressed his covenant.
Well, we transgressed his covenant. Read out.
And all that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded.
We transgressed the covenant and all that Moses commanded, man. You know we was in that wilderness acting a damn fool, man. Read on.
It would not hear them.
And would not?
It would not hear them.
Read on.
Nor do them.
We wouldn't hear the commandments, nor would we do them. We wouldn't hear them or do them, man. Go back to Daniel 9 and 10.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 10. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants, the prophets.
Read on.
Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law.
Now, some Israel.
All Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us.
Therefore, the what?
Therefore, the curse is poured upon us.
Since we did not obey and we transgressed the law, By departing, the curse is poured upon us. Read.
And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him.
What was the oath and the curse? Let's go to Deuteronomy real quick. We got to get it. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 1, and we're going to go to 28 and 15.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high,
read on,
above all nations,
on the earth, read on,
of the earth.
Read on.
Verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. So
for doing the word, the laws of the Most High, and listening, we will what? Be blessed, right? We put on high. Jump over to 15.
Verse 15. And it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
But if we wouldn't, the curses will come upon us and overtake us. Let's go back to Daniel. Read 11 again.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 11. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice.
Read on.
Therefore, the curse is poured upon us.
And it said that we were going to be cursed if we what? Did not hearken, did not obey. So this is coming true, man. Read.
And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God.
Because what?
Because we have sinned against him.
Read on.
Verse 12. And he hath confirmed his words, which he had spoke against us.
He did what?
And he had confirmed his words, which he had spake against us.
What were those words that he confirmed? We just read the curses. He confirmed them. You know, you want to get confirmation? He gave us confirmation. How many captivities we done been in? 7 major, 7 minor? Yeah, he confirmed his word. You're damn right he confirmed it. Read on.
And against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil.
A what?
A great evil.
Read on.
For under the whole heaven had not been done as had been done upon Jerusalem.
What was this great evil that had been done unto the whole world like it had been done to us?
Captivity.
Which one? What's the main one we're talking about?
This one.
The Atlantic slave trade. Because everybody likes to talk about, oh yeah, there's some other nations been in captivity. Well, the Bible letting you know there ain't no other person been in captivity how we have been. Read 12 again.
Verse 12 from the top. And he had confirmed his words, which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us.
By what?
By bringing upon us a great evil.
That great evil was captivity, like we said, but the main one we're talking about is what? Deuteronomy 28 and 16. Read.
For under the whole heaven had not been done as had been done upon Jerusalem.
He said under the whole heaven. Babies weren't getting fed to alligators. Mothers and grandmothers weren't being raped, robbed. Our people weren't being hung, playing hit the nigga ball, hit the nigga with the baseball. Ain't nothing ever happened to the other people how it happened to Jerusalem, man. To our people, man. This is a proven fact, man. Go to Baruch 2 and 2.
It's the book of Baruch, chapter 2, verse 2. To bring upon us great plagues.
What kind of plagues?
Great plagues.
Great plagues, man. That captivity was great plagues. Read on.
Such as never happened under the whole heaven.
Read that again.
Such as never happened under the whole heaven.
Some plagues that never happened under the whole heaven. Giving you the same thing, right? You get it out the Apocrypha and out the Bible, man. Read on.
As it came to pass in Jerusalem.
As it came to pass in Jerusalem. Read on.
According to the things that were written in the law of Moses.
According to the captivity that was going to be written if we, hearkened or did not hearken, man. We was going to go into slavery, man, captivity. And that happened, man. So make sure y'all put that precept besides Daniel 9 and 11. Baruch 2 and 2, man. I mean, on 9 and 12, I'm sorry. Read 13, man. Go back to Leviticus 20, Shalaki. Daniel 9 and 13.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, and the law of Moses, all this evil is come upon us. Yet made we not our prayer before the Lord our God, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth.
We got to turn from our iniquities, Israel, and confirm the truth, man, which is this word, man. The law, statutes, and commandments. Like we said, for these reasons, for our iniquity, for our problems, for our sin, we can't comprehend the works of the Most High God. But all praises to the Most High for that remnant that He left, man. We'd like to say thank y'all for tuning in tonight, man. We hope y'all got some edification tonight, man, some understanding. Israel, man, we just thank y'all, man. We just had our new moon last night. We had a great time. We thank y'all for the GoFundMe, the Cash App that y'all been sending us, man. It's been greatly appreciated, and we've been greatly using it, man, toward the building of this nation, man. We always say keep the commandments, man. Let's go to Exodus 20. Let's give them a law, man. Matter of fact, let's bring out the same Leviticus that we brought out earlier. Leviticus 26 and 33.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 33.
Read up.
And I will scatter you among the heathen, and will draw out a sword after you.
So the heathen are the sword for the Israelites, man. The Most High God is making us jealous, provoking us with jealousy, because He's a jealous God, man. Read up.
And your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste.
And our land and our cities have been desolate and waste, man. Right now, I already see our city over there ain't doing nothing because of them fake damn bastards over there, man. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna return again, Israel. But we have to keep the commandments, be obedient to the law, to get some understanding so that we can comprehend the works of the law, man. You understand? Yeah. With that, man, we say Shalom, Israel. Our praise in the Most High.